When you're feeling really happy and excited and having fun, do you ever notice that somehow you're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, or you're thinking, this can't last, or there's something niggling in the back of your mind going, yeah, it's all fun and games right now, but well, if you've ever thought that, felt that, or experienced that, that might be exactly why you have attracted today's video. Welcome to the dojo. I'm going to share my screen with you, and you are at the dojo. We meet live virtually every Tuesday. You're welcome to join us live and have conversations about these topics. And if you can't join us live, I'm really happy that you are subscribing to the channel and finding the replay so helpful. Um, so last week, our topic was, have you done enough? And this was a really inspiring conversation. We had a great conversation about this when we met live. So if you were not able to join us live or you have not yet seen the video, I will put a link to that video at the end of this video. But for today, our topic is, do you fear happiness? So it's just like those questions I was asking you. So let's stop and think about this a minute. Please take a breath with me. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply through your nose. Now exhale like you're releasing several months worth of expectations. We have spent this year in the dojo together. So many videos, so many topics, so many conversations. It's been wonderful. And we've been clearing old memories, dismantling inherited beliefs, softening shame, learning to receive, and learning to be. For the past few months, we've been unpacking the attic of the subconscious, memories, beliefs, patterns, and inherited survival strategies. Every topic has been building towards one truth. You are not broken. You were conditioned. And invitations to conditioned beliefs can be declined. We explored childhood memories stored like forgotten boxes collecting dust. We learned how awareness becomes the flashlight to reveal what was hidden instead of fighting it. And just like painful emotions can feel bad, when we repress them, happiness can also feel bad when it's an unfamiliar feeling or experience. So if you're like, oh yeah, I'm really feeling happy, life is good, but the mind is telling you it can't last, the other shoe's going to drop, well, that really puts you in a position to accept an invitation to a fear of happiness. But remember, those invitations can be declined, right? Right. And when we fear happiness, when we allow ourselves to believe what the mind is trying to convince us is so true, and that we definitely have a reason to fear happiness, this is when it tends to get stored in the attic, like all the other boxes we put up there. But we have debunked the belief that we must earn love, success, or rest. We now notice where we overgive, overwork, and overprove, reminding us that receiving is a muscle. Worthiness is not a negotiation, and happiness doesn't require justification, only permission. We've worked with shame, secrecy, the stories we've never said out loud, and just like the secrets lose power when they're welcomed into the light, happiness feels safer when nothing inside of you is hiding from it. We separated the voice of fear from the voice of awareness. We discovered that surrender is the space between reaction and choice. We also know that the voice of doubt isn't you. So when happiness rises, if it includes an invitation to fear, Just like an unwanted text message, you can simply decline it. All the work has led to this moment, a turning of the key. Just like the invitation to fear failure, we also receive invitations to fear happiness. Because happiness threatens the identity the mind has created based on surviving, fixing, proving, enduring. So if you've created an identity around life has got to be hard, I've got to work really hard if I want something to happen in my life, it's not true. It's something that the mind is continuing to try to convince you of, but it's not true. Happiness means ease, and ease means effortless. Right now, you hold the key to awareness instead of reacting, receive instead of earn, speak instead of hide, soften instead of shrink, be instead of efforting. How easily do you now recognize the way a fear of happiness can create invitations for panic, sabotage, or numbness? You're finally feeling good. Things are flowing. Your heart is opening. And then suddenly, you're scanning for danger, waiting for the other shoe to drop, looking for cracks. You pull back, self-doubt creeps in, and part of you whispers, "This can't last." Because you forget that every crack is the gold creating the opening you've been waiting for. Most people don't recognize the gold because they assume they have a fear of failure. But what if it's actually a fear of happiness? What if the part of you that's bracing isn't afraid of falling? It's afraid of flying, afraid of pleasure, afraid of peace, afraid of letting life feel that good. Because if you let yourself enjoy it fully, if you allow happiness in without guarding the door, you create the opportunity to decline any and all invitations to a fear of unhappiness, to a fear of happiness. Whether you fear being unhappy or you fear being happy, there's contrast in everything, but they're both invitations. And you have the power to decline the invitations. So let's think about a question. When things are going really well, where does your body tighten? When I thought about this question, I stepped back and go, oh, okay. So I started thinking about times when, oh, yeah, I remember I was feeling really happy about that. And then when the tension came, the tension meaning that fear of happiness, where did I feel it? And I realized where I felt it was right here. Not in the throat, not in the chest, not in the heart area, but right here. So as I closed my eyes and I thought about that, I'm like, oh, so what happens when I'm feeling something, a negative emotion right here? And I realized that that's when I wanted to step back into a fighting stance or a self-defense stance. And I thought, whoa, that is really interesting. It's like I was bracing myself for a fight. And then I realized, like, how could that be when you're thinking about happiness? What would there be to defend? What would there be to fight? Isn't that interesting? And as I worked through this question, it became very apparent that, okay, now I can see that when there's that energy moving through where you feel a tightness or a tensioning here and you feel like you need to brace yourself, now you can easily let that go, soften. And when you soften, then you no longer feel a tension here, but you feel an opening in the heart area. And this question was really informative for me. I really thought, wow, there's a lot to unpack in that. Another question. Have you ever asked yourself what you believe the tension is trying to protect you from? So just like I did the whole, okay, what did I feel I needed protection from? And of course, right, this is all inner child work, inner child healing, inner child things that we brought with us from childhood to adulthood. And maybe it's something that you're still holding on to, it's something you're still identifying with. And if so, you have the ability to heal that, release it, let it go, because it was never yours to begin with. You think you're holding on to things, but you're not. It's simply the mind sending you an invitation like, hey, we've always been able to trigger you in the past with this, so let's trigger you again. But once you realize what it is, you decline the invitations and the triggers go away. Do you ever sabotage peace or pleasure because it feels unfamiliar? Like during our conversation today in the dojo, one of the women says, yeah, I can see where in business I sabotage myself because, um, I get to a certain point and everything starts to seem like it's going really well and I'm really happy about it. And then I do something to sabotage it. Isn't it funny how we can do things like that and we don't even pay attention to why? What's going on with the mind that we are so easily accepting invitations to sabotage? Just ask yourself, if happiness is my true nature, how could it possibly be unfamiliar? If you knew that happiness wasn't a risk and that it's actually your birthright, how would you show up differently this week? How would your life change? What would be different for you? What would happen if you let yourself enjoy something fully without pulling back, flinching, waiting for the other shoe to drop, or looking for cracks? Happiness is not fragile. You don't have to earn it, brace for it, or apologize for it. It's time to stop surviving happiness and start living it. Now, I've listed 4 questions here, and you may want to pause the video and either write down these questions or really put some thought into them. I highly, highly invite you to do that because when you look at these 4 questions and you're able to answer them without judging yourself, it's just you and the pen and paper, right? Or whatever it is you use to write with. Look at these questions. Really understand where your fear of happiness is coming from. Because now more than ever is the time for us to recognize if and when you fear happiness. Because we're exiting a 9-year and entering a 1-year in numerology, which signifies a major energetic and metaphysical transition from a phase of completion and release to one of a brand new beginning and initiation. It's a powerful shift from a period of introspection and trying to lose ends to lose all that heaviness and tying up loose ends to a dynamic time of planting seeds for the next 9-year cycle. The 9-year is the final chapter of the cycle, carrying the energy of a spiritual graduation year. This year is focused on wrapping up old projects, relationships, habits, and mindsets that no longer serve your highest good. The primary energy is about letting go, forgiveness, and clearing emotional or energetic clutter to make space for the new. It's a time for reflection, gaining a higher understanding of the past experiences, and integrating the lessons learned over the previous 8 years. There may be a strong call to focus on a service to others. You might be feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Everything I have learned about myself and what I'm capable of. I want to teach this to others now. I want to be of service to others and support others who are looking for this information. That's wonderful, right? Because you're embodying compassion and universal love. If you resist these endings, you may find that the same unresolved issues spill over into the next cycle, and that makes the transition a little more challenging. The 1 year is the first breath of a new cycle, an energetic blank slate charged with potential and forward momentum. This is the time to initiate new projects, embark on ambitious endeavors, and make bold moves aligned with your aspirations. Ask yourself, like, what do I want to do? Am I really satisfied with everything? Or do I have the opportunity now to expand, maybe travel, um, create new relationships, start a business, end a business, start a relationship, end a relationship, uh, get a new job, leave a job, whatever it is. This is your time for expansion. The energy encourages assertiveness and stepping into a leadership role in your own life. It's a year to define who you're becoming and what you want to create. The actions and intentions you set during this year are the seeds that will shape the themes for the entire next 9-year cycle. It's a year of discovery, trying new things, not getting too hung up on immediate final results, and exploring possibilities. This is our time to embody happiness, but how can you step fully into a 1-year cycle if you haven't learned to recognize how and why you fear happiness? This isn't just numerology, it's a metaphysical reset, a profound exhale, followed by a life-changing inhale. Inhale that newness, that opportunity, that awareness of who you are. The 9-year was the great exhale. The 9-year was the space of release. It's where old identities, old stories, old versions of you dissolve. It's where you clear the attic, shed relationships, habits, beliefs, and emotional patterns that can't follow you into the 1 year. They can't follow you because it's a different vibrational frequency. In a 9-year, you're not meant to cling. You're meant to complete, to empty out, to let the final breath of an old identity leave your body. This is why happiness felt wobbly. You were still exhaling, still in the letting go phase. The 1 year is the first inhale. The 1 year is initiation, a beginning, the first breath of who you're becoming. But here's the truth no one says out loud. The first inhale can often feel fragile. It feels like a new identity, a new way of being. And let's face it, anything new, maybe we fear it or we have some sort of trepidation. It's kind of like we're creeping in, we're looking at it, we're like, do we trust this? You are learning to breathe in happiness without flinching. You're learning to embody happiness without fearing it will be snatched away from you. To step into the 1 year fully, you must honor the work you did in the 9 year by releasing the old identity, releasing old survival patterns, releasing old emotional armor, and being able to recognize if and when you fear happiness. So you can allow clarity, momentum, purpose, and a fresh, unshakable sense of self. The universe always supports the transition, but it doesn't force your hand. A 1 year opens the door, but you have to decide if you're going to walk through it. And walking through it means choosing happiness without waiting for the rug to be pulled out from under you. It means choosing the fresh inhale instead of bracing for the next exhale. As you move from the old cycle to the new. Are you ready to stop fearing happiness? Are you stepping into the 1 year with clean energy, awakened awareness, and the strength to let happiness stay? This is not just a new chapter. This is a new frequency of you. And if there's anything about your life that's causing you unhappiness, something where you feel like, man, nothing's going to change, it's the same old, then I invite you, if you want a different life, I'm going to share a saying from one of my favorite movies. It's the movie of A Knight's Tale. Change your stars. If there's something about your life that you don't like, change your stars. It's the story about a little boy who wanted to be a knight, but back then it was a law that to be a knight, you had to be of noble birth. And so his father would tell him, William, change your stars. And you have the ability to do that as well. We are all being guided by a power greater than ourselves, and nothing is keeping us from following a different path. Nothing is keeping us from changing our stars. This is not just a new chapter. This is a new frequency of you. What are the groups, the teachers, the books, the movies? What are you choosing? Are you choosing them because you're seeking something? You want to feel better, you want to feel happier, you want to feel more love? Or are you choosing them because, like your favorite song, they make you want to sing or get up and dance or party like purple? This is your opportunity to pay attention to whether or not you fear happiness. Take a deep breath, man. Does this give you a little insight about how the mind can make you think one thing, but you're actually thinking another thing? And you're like, whoa, I didn't even realize that. You know, all the things that we think are something that we want in our life are something that we can also fear. We can fear money. We can fear love. We can fear happiness. We can fear health, a healthy body. It's so interesting how the mind finds ways to say, are you really sure this is what you want? So I invite you to enjoy happiness. I invite you to love your life, to party like purple. And if you want any kind of support with this, visit me at masteringyourbeliefs.com. In the meantime, this is Nancy Mueller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.